the close games, you guys seem really confident in those fourth quarters that you're going to pull it out.
You know, as a coach, everybody says, you know, the bottom line thing is when you got a guy like Andre Broaddus on the offensive side of the ball, and defensively, with the exception of the balls thrown over our head, we played pretty darn good against a very explosive offensive football team. And I was very proud of that fact. But I really think that, you know, I think senior leadership, and I can point to two guys, Kenny Jackson and Andre Broaddus, were awesome. Deontay Williams, I don't know if you saw on that last time we had the ball third down and we ran toss to Cole Stanley, the block that Deontay had. Those are the things that separate guys. And our offensive line did what they did a great job. I haven't seen it statistically, but we had to do some things that we weren't normally ready to do against them. And we made good adjustments and we were able to move the ball. Brian Cook did a good job. And I think on the other side, I think defensively, Josh Brown deserves a lot of credit in his staff. I thought they did some really good things as well against a very potent offense.
Yeah, Andre ends up accounting for 4 touchdowns. This is his best game that you've seen him play in college?
No, but it's pretty darn good, I'll tell you. I mean, you know, I expect that. I hate to say it. This is an expectation that we have for Andre. In a close game, you know, I told him he was ticked off that we kicked that field goal to go 25-23. And I said, all right. I said, the ball is going to be in your hands to win this game. And he looked at me and he said, give me the ball. I'll throw it, I'll do whatever. You tell me what, and he will. That's the type of guy that we have playing quarterback. He is going to will a win, and he willed it tonight. And I think our whole offense did. I use Andre, and it's kind of like a we term for our entire offense.
Coach, Portland State challenged the secondary today. How can you say about how they responded?
Well, I mean, they did a couple of good things, and a couple of great throws and great catches. I hate to say it. You got to give credit sometimes to your opponent. You know, Nico, everybody's going, oh, poor Nico. Well, a couple of times he's right there. The other one down here, I don't know if he ended up with it or not, but 2 guys had the ball. I mean, that guy's 6'3", and he's a little bit bigger than Nico, I guess. But, I mean, I thought overall, if we took the throws over our head out of that game, that's about as well as we could have probably played against them. If you take the fumbles out that gave them 10 points in the first half, watch out. Then this game's a completely different football.
Coach, was that the most physical team you guys have played this year?
No, I don't know if it was the most physical. I mean, Jacob Shoemaker, number 6, is a kid I had recruited where I was before at Army, and you know, I think he's a heck of a football player. I had a lot of respect for him. I had a lot of respect for their whole team. I think they played extremely hard. You know, we're 6-0 and they're 2-4 coming into a game, and they gave us everything we can handle. I think Nigel Burton's doing a great job at Portland State, and it's only a matter of time before they get where they want to get as well.
How potentially damaging were the injuries you guys had on both offensive and defensive line?
Well, the defensive line guys are going to be okay at a certain point in time. It's going to be the offensive line guys who have to replace, and that's football. You know, some guys are going to get an opportunity to stand up and play, and you never know what's going to happen unless you get that opportunity. So some young man's going to have a tremendous opportunity, and we hope they can replace. Mike Freeman has had a tremendous year, and Carl Winkelman has been unfortunately hurt almost the entire year. So, I mean, it's just been one of those deals. So I just want to make sure that you know, those 2 guys get healthy and understand that they've helped us. Without those guys, we wouldn't be 7-0, and now we're going to have somebody to step up to make us 8-0.
Yeah, it's easy to look at Deontay's contributions and Andre's contributions. Yeah. Was there anybody who was like an unsung, you know, didn't stand out in the statistics that you can?
Well, I think Bobby played all right. And I think you really want to talk about our defense, our whole defensive line. I think our front 7 on defense, and I think having Alex Hubbard back was a positive thing on the defensive side of the ball too. I thought he played really well. But I think our front 7 on defense, great job. Sullivan Gross is probably leading the way. Kenny Jackson leading the way. Johnny Millard, Nick DeZumar, great players. And then I think on the offensive side, you get those 3 guys that play on the interior: Kyle Zotnick, Leffy, Lutuli Gasanoa, and Jeff Hyde, and throw in Giovanni Sani, playing every play, every down, every game. You know, that's a lot of plays, and they're in great shape, and they never die. They just keep going.
Yeah, Coach, how do you prepare for these next 2 weeks? Probably the toughest stretch so far.
Well, I mean, I just think you got, you know, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to enjoy that we're 7-0 tonight, and tomorrow I'll start talking about Sacramento State and what we need to do to a very good football team, too. I mean, they've beaten the University of Colorado. I know what we're getting into, but hopefully we'll be ready for that opportunity when it shows up.
You're one of 2 undefeated teams left now. Do you feel like you guys should be rated higher in the polls?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it depends what you're looking at. I mean, my whole thing is I know how this FCS thing works out. I don't think it's as watched as well as it should be by no offense, the media, and therefore the media poll I think is a little skewed. You know, and sometimes it can be skewed maybe in our favor. I don't know. You know, because now we're undefeated. People may say 7-0. Now we got to vote for them. You know, I don't know what we are. I just know we're a very good football team. You know, I don't know if we're great. We'll find out by the end of the year. But right now, we are a good football team that finds ways to win, and I think that deserves some recognition. And obviously, for community's sake, for campus' sake, yeah, I'd love to come back home and 2 weeks 9-0 and ranked, second or third in the country. But we'll be what we are, and we're going to continue to fight the fight and make sure that we're playing in November.
Coach, was there any point tonight that you felt like your guys were frustrated, or what did they do to frustrate you guys?
Well, they did some things in our option game that were good that people do to us. Sometimes they make it tough to get the ball to the perimeter, and we were trying to force the ball to the perimeter a little bit, and I think everybody started to get a little frustrated. But I think that we did a good job making some adjustments and put the ball in Andre's hand and let him throw it a couple of times down the field and made a couple of big plays to Cole Stanford, things like that. And I think that that stuff excited everybody. And, I think our rush yards in the first half came somewhat easy. In the second half, they came very hard. I thought Portland State did a great job against the run defense from kind of the middle of the second quarter on. And we have answers to that, but we got to execute the answers probably a little bit better than we did.
Coach, Reese got the start over Douglas today. What was the mindset behind that?
Well, I mean, you got to play. If guys aren't playing up to the level of expectation that we have for them, you got to make a change and give somebody else the opportunity. And we have high expectations for Dave, but he's got to meet them too. And if he doesn't, Matt Reason's a good player. Alex Hubbard's a good player. Jordan Williams is a good player. So it gets down to making some tough decisions, and sometimes they're unfair to the individual, but they're right for what we're trying to do as a football team.
Again, how can you say Matt Reason played today?
I thought he played good. I'm after watching. I don't know if he played great, but he played well.
Thanks, Coach.